button. Record. Oh, watch this. You guys will love this. Oh, where'd she come from? Anyway, let's say share with a tweet. Join me in my space. Like now. There we go. Space joined. Now activate speakers. Let's see. Get the JW guy up here. Get everybody. Oh, there's Daniel even. All right, Max. We are live. We are on the internet. Welcome to the internet. Welcome to the World Crypto Network. This is Curio Cards and Curio Cards Plus Twitter Hangout Spectacular. It's a Twitter space. We did one of these over on Clubhouse and it was just too quiet. So Max and I were chatting with each other and we were like, why don't we do one of these on Twitter Spaces? Well, what about tomorrow? What about scheduling? We're like, why don't we do one of these now? So this is it. We're chatting now. How's it going, Max?
I'm doing really good. It's at the end of a long work day, but I just grabbed another nitro cold brew, and I'm pumped to be here. Super excited to be simulcast across the internet on Twitter Spaces and on World Crypto Network. Wait, has the show started yet? I have no idea what's going on.
The show has started. Let's play the sound. Nope, no sound. Here we go. One more time. Oh yeah, that's what we like to hear. We've got a live studio audience, and we're also joined by Daniel. How's it going, Daniel?
Yo, just came in for a few minutes to say hi, but thanks for having me on, and it'll be fun.
It's going to be great fun. We're also joined by Josh. How's it going, Josh? Have you heard of Curio Cards or Curio Cards Plus? Oh, no, he didn't come up as a speaker. Anyone who wants to come up as a speaker, I'm going to go and invite anybody up if you want to come up and talk about Curio Cards Plus, what your favorite NFT is, how you got into NFTs, Bitcoin, anything else that you got going on. We're just looking to do a little public hangout Twitter space here, trying her out, seeing what's going on out there, what you guys are up to.
Yeah, we should get some more viewers. Definitely click that button on the bottom right if you're on Twitter Spaces. It's a little reshare button. Let's get some viewers up in here, guys. I know you guys have some followers.
There we go. We've got a guy with a number 28 card, Max. How does that feel? People using your art as their profile picture. It's pretty neat, huh?
Oh man, it's so trippy. Hey, what's up, Bloom J? I think I know who you are. Well, yeah, no, it's awesome, man. Super unexpected. Never thought my art would be used as profile pictures in 2021. Super unreal, right?
Well, what I always had is I always had the people using my Mad Bitcoin's face, but they were using it on scam profiles. They were like imitating me and then saying that I would give away free Ethereum and stuff like that. It's really refreshing and incredibly positive to have people using the number 20 card as their profile because they're like, I'm proud of, being a Mad Bitcoin's card holder and I want to put it on my profile. And I look at that and I'm like, that's cool. I'm not, but I always have to reset myself because at first I'm like, another person scamming me and trying to, hurt my audience and stuff, which I hate. So.
Well, the first thought when I started seeing those, my actual first thought was confusion. I was like, what is going on here? This is so weird. And then I started thinking about like the anonymous mask, like the Guy Fawkes mask. I'm like, oh no, like what is it going to turn into that type of situation? Like, are we just going to have a bunch of different tribes of profile pictures? And yeah, it's really interesting to go in some of these Twitter spaces and only see profile pictures. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with all that. I also see, hey, JW up in the audience. JW is another amazing artist in my local community of Chico, and he's doing some sanctioned remixes of my artwork. So hopefully we get those out in the next few days and share those with the rest of the community. Super excited about those.
Yeah, I've just got done working on one, and it was a blast.
Hey JW, can you tell us a little bit
Hey,
about the card? What does it look like? Which card are you doing a takeoff of?
um, let's see. What number is it, Max? It's the blue. It's
28.
the 28. Yeah, it's the blue 28. And I'm just giving it a little of my own style, and I'm super grateful to be uh, involved. And it renewed some artistic inspiration, which was nice. And yeah, super grateful for that last 10 hours of design work. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I saw a preview of it. I don't want to spoil it, but it looks it looks really good. Yeah, I just want to mention too that JW hit me up in the real world, terrestrially, like physical land, real world, and it's like, how do I get these things called Curio cards? And I mean, literally, like one other person in my in my community was asking me about it or inquired about it. Um, and yeah, I think he got some pretty good ones and excellent purchase, sir. Excellent purchase.
Yeah, I timed it pretty good. Cosmically, I got 7 and 8, I believe, and I love them.
That's very cool. And I look forward to
Thanks for having me.
the remixes, man. That's very cool that anyone can just make a remix of a Curio card and release them. And I know Max's other friend, I think Frisk, has done some very cool remixes. I want to say, Daniel, have you seen the Frisk remixes? Because he did a couple of your artworks, and I was curious to get your thoughts.
It was really cool. I really appreciated it. It kind of took the black and white and it reminded me of a coloring book, like the so-called adult coloring books with the geometric patterns and then people who color and add like a layer of meaning over it, which is nice because that's exactly what those kinds of artworks are. And then also the primary colors reminded me of kind of like Mondrian, like just the blocky, bold colors. So it's a cool take.
I agree. I think it's a definitely an interesting take. One of them kind of looks like Tetris pieces to me, which of course I love Tetris pieces, and the other one, the way that it kind of highlights parts of the original work, kind of pops them out to me and makes me think about those parts of the pattern versus other parts of the pattern. And I also want to say with Frisk's work is it's interesting how a kind of a first reaction can be wrong. I mean, my first reaction is that he did the Marisol cards and they were kind of popping through, and I wasn't that crazy about them. But every card since, he's had a really interesting take on the card, and I've appreciated it, even if I, couldn't purchase them in time. And some of the Mad Bitcoins cards have slipped away from me. So, and that's part of the fun of one of ones as well, that somebody owns it. And if you want to sell it, you give it up. You give it up to the other person. So only one person can own it at a time. So it's kind of fun. And I definitely look forward to the other cards in the Frisk series and hopefully whatever he makes in the future, additional NFTs and other work.
Yeah, I'm a huge a huge fan of this process too. Originally, I was gonna mint some cards and then drop them on my other holders, and just the cost is so prohibitive. So I'm like, well, I'd rather just like have other artists mint these. I'll purchase them and then release them to the community, even though they're one of ones. I'm like, let's get them out there. So I like this model. I think I'm gonna do this with a bunch of other artists. And if you know any other artists that want to have some remixed produce some remix artworks, and if they're inspired by the Curio cards, definitely hit me up, DM me, find me on the interwebs. I'd love to support them as well. But yeah, it's such a strange world, like being able to be able to even offer something like that. I remember in like art school thinking back of like if we were to remix each other's works, like how awkward it would be like if you just did that. And now it's almost like kind of expected, with all these like profile picture projects you see, you know um, multiple permutations of punks and all these different interpretations of projects. And yeah, I just think it's we've opened a interesting aspect there.
Let's see.
I'll just say one more thing because I only can stay for another minute. But that remixing combining with verification is just really cool because previously, like you'd sample a song in in some electronica, and then it wouldn't be clear where the sample came from. And I mean, that's kind of cool that it fades off into the horizon of culture, like where a sound or a tune comes from. And then now there's this ability to like trace and remix together. So it's just like pretty cool to see. So I can only imagine, Max, all the art remixes that you speculated on that now can exist.
Yeah, it's such a cool thing to see, and yeah, it's kind of like a pay it forward thing, like oh man, I always want to support this artist, and like how do I do it? And it's like it's it's really hard to if you don't have a lot of money or resources, and it's like, well, in this situation, we can give these artists exposure, and then get them some Ethereum, a little bit of Ethereum. And then every time it resells, they're going to get a cut out of that too. So if somebody wants to, share the art with someone or resell it or whatever, it's just, it's perpetual. And I mean, that's like the dream for artists to make dividends or perpetual income off their art. Like, how cool is that?
All right, sorry to leave you guys, but peace out. Enjoy the convo. I'm happy to talk any other time, or people can just get in touch. But peace out. Bye.
Thanks so
Bye,
much,
Daniel.
Daniel, for joining us. See you later. I would also like to welcome Amy to the stage. Amy, what are your thoughts on Curio cards and NFTs in general?
Hi. Yeah, I think I'm a little late to the party on remixes. I'm not. I was gonna ask, are those projects in themselves? What exactly is remixing? Is it just in the form of, I don't know, like, yeah, what are these remixes? I do have a couple of Curio cards. I got into it when I really like had no idea what this stuff was. I think I kind of got lucky, so now I'm really interested in all this stuff. But I think I think I'm a little behind on some of it.
Well, at their best, remixes are unique artistic work that someone spent a lot of time on that kind of reinterpret one of the cards.
And these are
At
things
their
people are
worst,
selling.
they kind of like just put a filter over something and like made it a color, like they've made it pink or something, and they're like, these are cards pink. So at the best, they're like really cool artwork. So yeah, there's been a couple of projects where they're selling them like one of ones. If you're really lucky and you get there on time, you could buy one. And some of the other projects, they're dropping them on people that hold existing cards. So if you're very lucky, you could get one dropped on you.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Great. Yeah. Thank you.
yeah. There's a whole spectrum of, there's some that are almost like absurd in the remix sense. Like they'll take like the crypto punks and then they'll turn them 180 degrees, just turn the face 180 degrees, or they'll change the color or something. Like, like, like I guess that's cool for like someone that just wants to hold an NFT, but it's also kind of just it's just a money grab or like something absurd. So yeah, so with these sanctioned remixes that I'm getting some artist friends involved. I'm asking for a little more thought and a little more, I don't know, you could say like interpretation based on their style, and not necessarily just something to, pump and sell. So, yeah, there's different aspects there, and different interpretations. The ones that Robeck commissioned are really amazing, super high end, and yeah, he dropped those on his community members.
And I've always thought
Cool. Yeah.
this is
Thank
one of
you.
the, yeah, they're really cool. I've always thought this is one of the best things about NFTs is this ability to reward people in your community and the ability for your community to reward the artist by holding one of the cards, buying one of the cards, or even just promoting the cards, writing about them, being positive about the project. And I think it's really important to do that.
Did you guys get a chance to see the display at Christie's?
Only through pictures on the internet.
I stopped by. It was pretty cool.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
What was it like to walk through the art gallery with all the, for a better lack of a better word, real art, and then to get to the NFTs and the Curio cards?
Yeah, it was definitely. I think everyone in there was, kind of poking their head in and definitely very curious. A lot of people were coming in, kind of just asking what, like, what the hell they were looking at. And it was, yeah, definitely was getting a lot of traction. But yeah, it was obviously unique. It seemed very, I mean, it was just exciting because it did seem very early stages. Like, I think his name's Noah. Noah was in there, kind of explaining it to people who, from people who knew nothing about it to people who, went there, I guess, knowing who Noah was. It was kind of, it was just so obviously like we're, on the verge of introducing this stuff to, into the mainstream. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love how. Oh, go ahead, John.
No, you should go. But I really wish I could have gone in any other, time period and all that. It would have been pretty easy to get out to New York and check out the thing. It would have been fun to stand there and just, maybe even wear the Mad Bitcoins uniform and just tell people, these are the Curio card NFTs. Please check out card number 20 and 21. And, just be an interactive guide to the things. Cause I almost feel like they need that. They need that hand holding so they can understand like what they're buying, what it represents, and what it could represent in the future too. But Max, what do you think?
Yeah, I just love how it's almost like the status quo needed an interface to NFTs, and this was one of the the first ones. It's like these guys have been around forever, and they need NFTs to bridge the gap between the old world and the new world and the direction of where these things are going. And yeah, it's amazing to see that it was like based in Ethereum. Like, yeah, I mean, I have so many friends that are just like blown away. Like, you actually got your stuff at Christie's, like, and that's like an artist's dream. I mean, a lot of artist dreams, not all artists, but a certain type of artist is like, that's it. That's their measure of success. Like, that's the highest you can go. Everything else is just, that, that's a true dream of mine. Literally dreamt of, when I was in art school, literally dreamt of being at Christie's um, after I had deceased and how an honor would be for friends and family and this other stuff. So to actually experience that in my lifetime is like this is crazy. And then yeah, that morning, I mean, like sweating bullets, thinking like, is this real? Is this gonna happen? Like there's so many things. Like, is it even gonna make like, are we even get 100 grand of offers? Like, and just to see it go for over 1 million was such a relief. Like that was a huge deal. Um, there's some other things that I'm like, well, just like as a status quo would do. Like the artists don't get a specific cut out of that. We get exposure. A lot of themes brought me back to these concepts of like, doing a logo for a band and having them say like, you're just doing it for exposure. But this is a whole other level of exposure, which is pretty unfathomable. And we'll continue to see articles come out about it and see it be cited. And Tom, I think we'll finally get on Wikipedia and get some articles written about us there.
Yeah, we definitely got to get back into Wikipedia. That was ridiculous. But yeah, I agree with Max. It was amazing for the artist to be in Christie's and for the project that we created to be there as well. And it is the kind of thing that I don't think we can repeat. And it's also hard to compare yourself with other people where you're like, oh, yeah, you did good and you did that or whatever. But our art project was listed in Christie's and sold for $1 million. So I can't wait till they reopen the bars and we don't have to wear masks anymore, and I can give that a try. Go out there and put that on the road. But yeah, it's a crazy, crazy thing that happened, and it's just amazing for everyone involved.
What do you guys think of the display? It was obvious, it's the first time they've done something like that. I think a lot of people were talking about, the display. It was just a picture of the NFTs. What do you guys think the future of that is going to look like? Is it going to be, on these new on these new, I don't know, devices that have the address and stuff, or is it? I don't know. I feel like there's so much growth for I guess having these in like auction houses and museums, whatever it is.
Well, the first thing that I think is that everybody at home should buy one of these super fun digital picture frames. And I don't think you have to get a fancy one that does the codes and the keys and knows that you cryptographically have it. I think this is one of those advantages where you can actually take advantage of that whole right click save as thing. And for the NFTs that you own, take that extra special care to right click save as them into a directory, throw that directory onto a digital picture frame, and then display it in your house. I've bought a couple of them off Amazon. They're about $100 to $200. I've been getting the Dragon Touch kind, and they seem really cool. And something about putting the NFTs on a digital picture frame just makes them real. So I like the display. I like the future trend of cool digital picture frames displaying NFTs and arts. And there's even fancier picture frames that you can get that will kind of scan the light environment to display the art. And I approve of those too. If I was really nitpicky, I kind of worry that people didn't understand they were getting 30 unique cards in the set because the set was in a little small box. And then the 17B mistake error card was in a huge box. So I wasn't crazy about having our errors be the giant selling point of our project. But I do get they're trying to emphasize the rarity and the uniqueness of the mistake, like that stamp with the upside down airplane and everything. But and it would have looked really crowded with 30 individual picture frames. But I would have dug it. I would have liked it. But yeah, I definitely think we're going to see more displays like this. And also, what a great thing for art galleries. Like in a completely non-negative way, let me say that art galleries could be like Taco Bells, and they could pop up everywhere, and you could walk through one with your coffee in one of these shopping centers where there's tons of nothing, and all they have to do is mount these fun frames to the wall and load them with NFTs or other kind of artwork, and it could be really fun.
Yeah, I think there's so many exciting ways for curators to interpret what these NFTs are, how to display them, how to hybridize them with like augmented reality interfaces. Yeah, and I mean, I love your idea of like just creating pop-up galleries at anywhere. Just in some cases you don't even need the frames. In some cases it can just hold up your phone and you have to be at that location to see these NFTs. Or but yeah, I don't think there's any guardrails with that. I've seen some smaller kind of handheld ones that actually charge wirelessly, and you can transfer data to them and have it like actually hold the NFT or hold an asset. And those are incredible too. I saw some really cool demos. I'm super excited where that's going. They're going to be thinner and lighter, and it's important to add some like tactile nature to these things. I know when people hold my originals that the 27, 28, 29, when they hold them now, I've actually seen people shake. Like they're like it, like just knowing how much they're worth or how much they could be worth, like changes their perspective. Like I'm like, I don't even want to touch them. Like I'm kind of afraid to touch them. So I think there's something built into us that like responds to the tactile nature of these things, where we respond to it in a certain way. And like, how cool would it be to, have that option of like, sending these things to a contract, and then you get these, representations in the mail, or you load them up yourself if you want to. And yeah, I think there's something about that too, where you're actually holding that physical item representing the NFT.
Yeah, I got one of those picture frames you're talking about lately, Max, where it's like a little plexiglass object, and there's a little frame type thing inside, and it has a charger, and it just kind of plays this animated GIF over and over again, and it's really neat. It makes the art real, and it has a little battery in it, so you could put it on a shelf or something. Generally, you want to keep it plugged into the charger if you want it to just race on forever. But what a neat little thing, and what things are starting to happen with these screens. I mean, at first it was people like Casey Neistat who had Godfather 2 scrolling forever behind him. But now it could be everyone that has like because already just these little picture frames, I have so many digital pictures, right? But I don't really see them, even with the iPhoto widgets and all that trying to show me random photos. I still have more. And these picture frames, by putting them throughout the house and trying to get a couple more of them, they really work. I'm really cycling through a bunch of random pictures of family and buildings and other stuff I shot that I think's cool. And the same for NFTs. Put your NFTs in some of those frames, put them around your house, and look at them and enjoy the art that you've bought. The the print.
Oh man, there's this idea that I've been thinking about where you go to like a museum and you go and you take the tour, you see all these works of art, and you have this unique, one of a kind experience, and then you exit through the gift shop, so to speak. You might buy a postcard for a family member. You might buy a postcard for your collection or whatever. But I really think there's something where those those individual works, when they provide that experience, um, could mint an NFT on demand. So it's like you're getting the postcard at the work of art. And I'm kind of wondering if like that could be done with these like frame elements, so that when you buy the NFT, you have like a master one, like a I shouldn't use that word. You have like a main NFT. You have like an you have an original of sorts, and then that one, when it's loaded into one of these picture frames, it produces like an edition, and maybe it only drips out one of them every day, or maybe once a year it can mint one for a lucky person that who's actually in front of this picture frame, or in front of this one unique display tool. So I think there's a way to make it these picture frames a little more engaging, and it's not just stuff on a wall. Because if it's just stuff on a wall, it's just it's just like, is that just there just to match the couch? I mean, what how where's the context? Where's the engagement for the consumer? So anyway, I like thinking of them, a little more interactive. How could it be more interactive for the consumer? Because then you could put this in a museum, and then you're saying like, oh, well, there's only like 10 of these a day. So if you want to see it, you can see this art on this one picture frame, but there's only 10 postcards a day, or 10, it's minting 10 of them for those users every day. Anyway, something to think about.
I think your last idea is really fun too, Max. I'd like to see an art gallery of just humans holding up iPads or even picture frames. And it would be great if they had a series of questions to ask you about the art. Like, they're like, what do you think she's thinking about? Do you like the color blue? Are there too many ships in this picture? Do you prefer landscapes? And like that, where the art becomes interactive. Because too many times, like if we're just gonna recreate the gallery and we're just gonna put NFT picture frames on the wall instead of frames of old art, it's not that interesting. I mean, the idea of maybe these people being advocates, needing you to click on their art and vote for it, and that therefore they're trying to get you to say that's the best art, or they have to rank them, like they line up in the room depending on the rank of the voting, and therefore they're always in competition with each other, and they're kind of like selling the art. Like there's
So
different ways to do
I got a
this.
question for you, Mad.
Sure thing, Jonathan. What's
Uh,
going on? Welcome to the stage. How's it going, man?
Thanks, man. So a long time we met. I don't know if you remember uh, Bitcoin Sandwich back when you started. Remember the whole contest for the network sponsorship? But this is back when we first started podcast. You
Part
know what I'm
of
talking
part
about?
of what you're saying is breaking up. Which sponsorship, man?
It wasn't sponsorship. It was sorry, I just switched out of my headset. That's probably better, right?
Yeah, a lot better. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so I think it was the I think it was the podcast network that was Oh man, you're, it was a long time ago. It was like 2014, something like that. I think is when we met. Anyways, I had a company that I started way back then that did laser etched bitcoins and litecoins. Do you remember any of this?
No, but that sounds fun, man. I like laser etched bits and like bitcoins and litecoins. Do you do belt
So
buckles?
if you go to Cryptmint, CRYPTMINT .co, the coins are cut out of sterling silver, and so we just run the laser like a ton of times in a circle, and then out comes a coin, and then you can custom put your own QR code. So the QR code could be a cryptocurrency wallet, like a public key. And the idea was that we were basically making these so that people could have their, pay me coin or their actual like. It was more of like a calling it back to like army and the services you have your challenge coins. So a lot of that. But you guys were talking about like the physical nature of it, and it was amazing to tell somebody the story of Bitcoin or like trying to explain to them Bitcoin, and you'd say the exact same shit, and you put the coin in their hands, and they go, oh, and they get it. But if you didn't put the coin in their hands, it was all this ephemeral bullshit that you were saying to them. The second you said something with a P and a coin lit up, it was really it's kind of weird how that happens. But yeah, I'd be really interested in. We have not done anything with NFTs. I'd be really really interested in how you would think about integrating an NFT into a coin because I mean uh, they're kind of a wonky like thing. You don't really need it's like a paper wallet, but you don't have the. We can't ever look at your private seed. We don't want to. So it's a weird like looking at uh, somebody's QR code type of use case, which really limits the
Yeah, it's
interactivity
a
with the object.
it's a neat thing that by putting it in their hand that they could understand it and they could get it that would be their address. And it would be cool if you could walk around and get paid and have people scan the coin. One idea I would have for an NFTs, and again, it gets complicated into more like kind of the governance things that Max talks about more. But what if we had a coin that was, and it was a physical silver coin, like you're saying, but really it's just kind of a QR code that links to an OpenSea marketplace where there are now like 11 of these coins, and those coins could then vote which charity should we support. Should we just support charity red or charity blue? And then everyone benefits.
That'd be really awesome. But I mean, I'm
They
just
could vote
like
on
my
it.
head's still reeling from like NVK. Have you seen his work with NFC keys? NVK's out of control, dude.
What's he been doing with NFT keys? Tell me about it. I know that guy.
Oh, this dude's got NFC working with Cold Card. You can
That's that
sign
that
with
thing they had at
NFC.
HCPP where you could like use your card on the thing to pay in Lightning.
Uh huh.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. They had that last year. It
Dude,
was
he's
cool.
off the rails. Like that's gonna change the game so much for anything with a physical the need to have the physical and be able to sign with the physical. I think that's gonna be pretty transformative stuff.
I just, if you check out marisolvengus.com, my alias for the Curio cards, um, I issued a Series 7. So it's, the last series was, in conjunction with Curio cards. And the original art was, for those, was done in 2016. So I haven't made a set of these since. But there was just, everyone's asked me when's the next set. So I decided to make another set, much larger format. And every single one of those pieces comes with a NFC chip, and the user scans it. The first person that buys it has the opportunity to scan it, and they get 5 NFTs through a claim link. And when they push claim, those are transferred to their wallet, and they can do whatever they want. So it's mint numbers 1 through 5. They can take those. They can, instantly sell them on the marketplace. They can send them to their friends. They can do whatever they want. So, yeah, it's a really, really simple, rudimentary idea. I'd also made a bunch of these they're basically scratcher tickets where you scratch them off and you can earn, and they're totally free. I just gave them out at conferences. I wasn't selling them or, monetizing them in any way. You scratch it off. You could get a Marisol Vengas NFT, or you could get like a bunch of other game pieces, like from Alien Worlds or from, there's a game called Upland. Threw a bunch of packs in there. I think so. The first edition, I did over 420 of these NFTs for this conference in Miami, and it was really funny. I gave them to some rap producers, and those were their first NFTs they'd ever gotten. And they're holding this piece of paper. They're like, "This is an NFT? Like, no way! I've heard about it." Like it was just so funny to introduce.
I'm curious. Since you've had the tactile NFT experience, what would you do with a laser and a piece of precious metal?
I don't know. In some regards, I feel like the NFT and precious metal are kind of they're like oil and water almost. I don't know how they would mix. Precious metal price varies, NFT price varies. I'm not sure if you want to peg those two together. I have a good friend who just issued the first silver warehouse receipts as an NFT. And yeah, he just released those on Wax blockchain. But yeah, I'm not the physical one. I'm not sure the connection to why that needs an NFT. But I love experimenting.
No, it's a wallet, right? Like at the end of the day, you put art on one side. I don't know if you've actually gone over to the site, but you can go to the Twitter account too, CryptMint, and basically think about it like this: it's enough resolution on the laser that we can write a millimeter tall ones and zeros on the edge of the coin. And it comes out where you can see the ones and zeros. So it's enough resolution where you could really put art there, right? And
yeah,
I think we're doing
the claim link, like Max is saying with the Wax, and with other NFTs, it's really neat. You can send like a link, so you could put work with an artist where he has a piece, like a picture of an apple, and then put 10 of these NFTs into the claim link. Put the claim link on the back of the coin. And now whoever you sell the coin to, they have 10 of those to deal with. And, sure, if they take off the sticker or whatever, they could be all gone. Like the secondary market, you're probably just buying an empty coin. But like the ability to distribute NFTs on that coin and to say this coin is worth 10 NFTs, like people get a kick out of that. People would like that.
Yeah, I also think I've also thought about have you guys seen, because an NFT is basically the same tool that you use for like a smart camera. So another interesting idea that we had was kicking it around as like a virtual safe. So like you'd have to move the NFT around or move the QR code around towards the camera in a certain direction to open the safe.
That'd be cool if if the safe worked that way. I don't know.
Yeah, that's how you put the hit, what's it called when you hide a price in a video game? Damn it, I'm just blanking out.
Oh, like a loot box or something, yeah? People love the
like an
packages,
Easter egg, yeah.
Yeah, there's no guardrails with this stuff. I just say do it. You don't have to ask for permission anymore. You just produce the product to add value to the community, and there you go. If people, if the consumer wants it, then they will, engage with it. They will use it. They'll distribute it. There's so many cool things out there to try and test and see if there's mass adoption. With those NFT scratcher tickets, it's the first art project I've had 99% success rate. And I pretty much did fail. That 1% is because the tool that I was using didn't work a couple times, right? A few times it didn't work on their device for some reason, so I did have a little bit of failure. But every person was like so happy to get it. Like everyone had smiles. They're like, "Wow, this is so cool!" Like they had to make a decision. So it's like you put this in front of them. They're like, "Do I scratch it and get the NFT, or I hold this as a collectible?" And I put an expiration date on them. So we actually like did a clawback for all the NFTs. So at the end of the year, if they don't scratch them, then we're taking them all back. We're putting them in a whole nother batch of these scratcher tickets to give out at conferences.
I think that's kind of where I'm thinking of this whole conversation. It's like the NFT should be more important than the physical means of transfer. Like you want to dispose of, I don't know. I think it'd be cooler just like you give me something that's digital and I value it and it now appears in like the metaverse and it loses its tether to like the physical world. I don't know if I need like the physicality of an NFT. I think that's a fun topic. I'm not saying don't pursue that, but I like what you're talking about is like the exact opposite of the.
It was
John
again. Saying. It wasn't. This thing was born in 2013. This is so old. It's not even. We never intended it to be. No. I'm saying we never intended it to be used like this at all. It's just obvious to us. Hey, there's some kind of use case here. I mean, like it's pretty obvious, but we just don't know what that is. And look, I've played around with NFTs. I didn't believe in them until I sold a $200 NFT for a conference that we donated to a bunch of refugees. I've raised a bunch of money for refugees using NFTs, and it's been cool. I haven't been able to continue it. I think that there is an invisible glass top now because it's so hard to get through the absolute volume that's hitting people. We wrote an article, we did a video. I've got like an entire thing where I show like what happened with the money from the sale of the NFT. Like we fed and gave these people like medicine and everything, and that's what people want. They want a story. But fuck, I can't get anybody to look at that because it was done in 2018. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I feel you there. I liked what Hard Coins was saying about the idea of the coin as a transport mechanism for NFTs, where I have the coin, I give it to you, you take the 10 NFTs off the coin, and then the coin is kind of like a receipt or a ticket stub. It's like something that once held 10 awesome NFTs that are now in my collection, or I'm trading them to some other guy, or I'm using them to redeem them to get some skin or some kind of graphical thing. It would be really neat to, have it as a transfer method, a way to send an NFT.
Yeah, I would check out also if you're into the physicality aspect where it intersects with crypto. The most cutting edge stuff is with the Kong, Kong. They're doing like flexible circuits that are also currency that you can load crypto on. They actually are, they've designed their own microchips to like deterministically produce unique keys that can't be extracted out of them. And they're based on the atoms on the individual circuits too. So they're doing some really, really high level stuff. And it's, they don't necessarily think that is like the solution.
Is that King Kong keys? Can you give me more detail on that?
I'm not the engineer. I talked to the engineer and he briefly explained how it worked. So I don't
know the name of the team.
Kong, Kong. And so they make flexible circuits, and they also do microchips, small enough to put them into shirts and hats and other promotional goods where they can, they actually hold NFTs in them. And yeah, they've done some incredible stuff. I look a little bit closer what they've done. They just made a citizenship token, which is a membership to their DAO.
You have a link or something? I'm trying to look for them. I can't find them.
I don't have a link right here. If you search like citizen token Kong, Kong, it should pop right up. But yeah, they're definitely worth looking at when for I'd say a more contemporary way that crypto can interface with physical products. Because and I submitted a proposal to them to be able to want to make something that does that, what I was describing, that minting on demand. So the physical item could actually mint, the addition of NFTs. So you sell one NFT, you give or you donate a physical item, and then that thing actually can produce those, NFTs. You could have it connect to it through Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or whatever you want. NFTs.
Just FYI, the Twitter handle is Kong is Cash.
Awesome, thank you. But yeah, so thinking about reinterpreting what the physical thing can be, because you can treat it as two different things. You can treat it as we got to dissolve all the physical items, and the NFT is the end game, or the physical item can be a bridge to this new paradigm, or coexist with it, or physical item could be a disposable key. You use it just a limited number of times, and then that's it. And anyway, yeah, lots of fun ways to interpret it as an artist or as a creator.
So I came here to talk about Curio Cards Plus. I want to know the lowdown. What's going on here? This thing came up out of nowhere. What's going on, Mad Bits?
Well, they call
Am I
it.
late? Did
They
you already
call.
talk about it?
No, we're good to talk about it now, and I like the questions because we need the questions. They help prompt the answers. But yeah, basically, this is something we'd been working on since the beginning. Originally, when I started Curio Cards, my plan was to make more cards, and it was actually a change of direction where they disagreed with me, and we stopped making cards after card 30. And as soon as NFTs started taking off, as soon as Curio Cards started taking off, it was my plan and my goal to try to make more cards. And it's not so much about the money or selling things. It's really about this idea that we can help promote artists. And the original sets of cards, we had them broken up where the artist had 3 cards at a time and 3 cards at a time to, again, promote these artists. And if you look now, it's because of the NFT, revolution or whatever you want to call it, we've been incredibly successful. And these artists that we've promoted now are doing incredibly well. So I think that's great, but I think we should expand beyond 7 artists. So I talked to my friend Rick Chan, who also helped us found the original Curio Cards when I needed a programmer to help me make cards out of ERC 20 tokens. They were at the time, the ones that they made the ICOs out of. My friend Rick and my other friend Ryan Singer recommended Rhett Creighton. So that's how we got Rhett on the team, and Rhett wrote the original Curio Card contracts. Then we brought in our friend Travis from the meetups to help us out on Curio Cards, and that was our team. So we've got our original team back, myself and Rick. We're trying to get Travis involved. We tried to get Rhett involved. Rhett's in some other country doing something else. We can't seem to get to Rhett very much, but Rhett's very happy and he's doing well, and he's totally shocked and pleased that people are into the original Curio Cards. We all think it's amazing. But yeah, we launched these new cards. They're available. It's super unfortunate. We know the truth. Gas fees are really high right now. These cards are intended to be priced low at $150. Unfortunately, gas fees are like $150. Like, we can't really hide this truth. So they are difficult to buy right now. It's unfortunate. We put them on Ethereum. We were trying to make them like the original cards. Maybe we could have put them on Polygon. I don't know. There's different options. These Max likes Wax. I like Wax. But generally the idea here is to make more cards, help more artists. We're looking for artists. We're actively, which is again how we started Curio Cards, how we got Daniel, how we got some of the other artists, is we had a form out there and we're looking for them. So the same thing with this, we're looking for artists to join our Discord, artists who want to make cards, and so that we can help promote them and promote their NFTs. Unfortunately, it does seem, I don't know, Hard Coins, if you're coming from the Discord or not, there's kind of a negative reaction to this idea from the Discord, which really surprises me and bums me out. And I'm trying not to be negative about it. I really want to focus on being positive and helping the artists, which is what this is about. And again, I'm taking my own time to do this. But yeah, this is the answer. I see all these people in the chat. What are we going to do? We got into Christie's. The answer is to make more cards and help more artists, right? Our mission is not done. 30 cards is great, but there are more cards and more artists in this world. And I'm still alive. I have time to make stuff. When I'm dead, I won't have time to make anything, so I won't make anything then. So that's how you'll know the difference. So yeah, I think we should move forward on this. I look forward to, positive interactions with people. I hope that they come around. I don't know why they're so angry about this. I see the main chat that I see is, what is the floor card? What is the cheapest card? What card can I buy to become incredibly rich tomorrow? And like, that's cool, but I'm tired of talking about that. What I would rather talk about is who the next artist should be, which art piece I like the best. Like these three art right here, like 31 is done by Luis Buenaventura, Crypto Pop, who is part of our original set. He's a friend of, again, he's a friend of Rick's. So that's how he got into the original set. And he's done a Curio cat for us here. He's got like a little Ethereum neckerchief and he's got a cape. And he's kind of our new little logo. But we're also looking for other interpretations of our logo. So if people want to make their own Curio cats, I look forward to that. Card 32 is by Daniel Friedman, who again we found for the original Curio project through a Google form that Daniel filled out that linked to his Flickr account, and we went and checked it out. And one of the great things about Daniel's art is that you look at it and you're like, that was done by a human. That's not like a copy of someone else's. That's original. So it's great to have Daniel back. And then the third one's obviously by Max, who's right here, and his art studio collective, Marisol Vengus, which again is many people working together make art, which sounds weird to us now, but that's actually what Leonardo da Vinci did, right? The reason he got so much stuff done is some of his stuff is done by people in his workshop, right? In his factory, which is also what Andy Warhol did. He had a factory and he made tons of art. And Andy Warhol never stopped making art till he was dead either. So, yeah, that's our general thing. That's like where I'm coming from. I'm super bummed that they're not happy with us in the chat. So I hope we can fix that. I hope we can turn it around. But what do you think, Hardcoins? What do you think about the idea? What do you think about what we're talking about here?
I'm supportive. I like it. I like the direction. To be completely candid, though, I feel like because I've been in the community since the rediscovery of Curio cards. I'd been there. I didn't mint them back in 2017, but I minted them like early March when we found them. So I've been keeping tabs on the whole movement and like the new faces. I'm glad to hear your explanation, but like from just an outsider's perspective, it's like some new faces come in, a new Twitter account pops up, and it's almost like do we? Obviously, you're here and you're a big part of it, so that's why I was like, well, he knows what's going on. But I think some people might just be confused. Like, is Curio being hijacked? Why is there a 31 when we were told that there wasn't going to be any more Curio cards? So basically there's a narrative clash. There's what this small group of people who have been hanging out for 4 or 5 months, and then even smaller group of people that have been collaborating or did collaborate a few years ago. So it's just a communication, like a miscommunication, I think, is why the Discord is a little bit apprehensive. But I think if you guys keep pushing out more content, they'll come around.
Yeah, see, I can definitely see that, and I want to try to clear it up a little because when we were rediscovered, I kind of had a hands-off attitude to it, and that's my fault. I had a hands-off attitude, and this idea. Sorry if you could mute yourself, Hardcoins. But and so what happened after that is there's this idea that was created that we were a non-profit art project, and this idea makes everyone feel really good. And I made a mistake. I didn't want to hurt that good feeling. I don't want to tell people that we're not really a nonprofit art project. We were a startup company. And Red is a great programmer, but a great programmer works for like $90K a year or something, right? Like I'm a marketing, I'm an organizations type guy. I make videos and edit and stuff. I do that kind of stuff. But these programmers are very important and makes the project. Like the reason Curio cards are still here and still being celebrated is because Rhett and I don't know how, but he wrote a good, smart contract that has been broken and doesn't fail, right? And that takes money, and that's a project, right? So, from the beginning, this idea got out there that we were a nonprofit, and from this nonprofit idea, there was this idea that we would never make any more Curio cards, and I thought this was a mistake from the beginning, and I what I did was I sat quietly with it, and that was kind of my mistake. I didn't want to like go in there and fight with Travis and say, oh, we should make new cards. But in reality, when I was there and we made the original 30 cards, I was in charge of the company. And when the original 30 cards didn't take off and become a big success, they disagreed with my leadership and decided to go a different direction. And I'm still friends with these guys, and it's a good company, and I'm glad we did it and everything. But my point's always been to make more cards, have more artists, and to promote and support the project that way. I've always felt that, like you don't have to like every art style that come across. Like maybe you don't like Daniel's cards because they're hand drawn, or you don't like black and white or whatever. You have choices. The way to get over that is to keep offering people new art and new opportunities to become involved. And I feel by continuing the project that we could do that. And I met extreme resistance from the head of the Discord over there, Travis. So my way to deal with this resistance was to just let him go his own way, and we went our own way. And we've kind of like we finished our project. The artists have given us the cards, and we've also tried to work out with some business people to make sure that we can, have this ship shape and have contracts and have this. Everyone understands their purpose and their role in this thing, which is not my department, not something I'm great at. But we worked on all those things to make this. And yeah, it's super unfortunate we weren't able to bring Travis on board. I've had disagreements with him on making new cards. I disagree with him on taking only 1% instead of 3%, that OpenSea gets a larger percentage than the artists. And really, I disagree with him for cutting the team out of the royalties. Rhett, Travis, and myself helped make the cards, and I think we should have been included. And I think you want to include the team so they can continue working for them. And then the other thing about the royalties, and again, it's my fault. I wasn't there. I didn't step up during the time period. I take responsibility for that. But I wish that some of it could have put in some kind of fund to advertise the original Curio cards. A lot of people, I envy like Pixel Map and CryptoPunks who are doing these incredible New York Times, Times Square billboard demonstrations. I wish we had one of those for Curio cards. I can't afford it myself. And I don't want to just take donations and pass the hat. But it's unfortunate that we don't have those things. I wish we did. I didn't want to be critical. I didn't want to like tear it apart or whatever. I still don't now. But yeah, that's where that's kind of coming from. There's a disagreement between myself and Travis about making new cards. And I really feel if the community, could give us a chance, I hope that they'd come on board with this idea of making new cards. And just like with the original Curio cards, maybe there's too many of them. Maybe some of them are going to get destroyed in a fire. I don't know. But, and maybe we'll make less next time. I mean, we're going to try to figure this thing out as we go along, just like we did last time. So I'm excited for the possibility of new artists, for the possibility of new cards, and to have something to talk about other than the price of the floor cards. And I just think even if we're talking about this controversy of like, oh, they shouldn't make it, or, oh, they should make it, we're at a whole second level, right? Everyone's taking sides. It's pretty fun. So what do you think, Hardcoins? I hope I've tried to explain it as best as I can, and I take full responsibility for the things I did and also for the inaction. I want to say that a lot of times you think like, oh, I'm not going to do anything and it'll just work itself out. And I think that's wrong. I think we have to step up and take action. And sometimes I screw that up myself, even though I tell other people to take action. So.
Yeah, I really appreciate the explanation. It's cool hearing your perspective and having a dialogue about it. I do know about like the fee structure of the new rapper, or not the new rapper, the official rapper. We had, I think, so if you notice my avatar is a little Curio Mooncat. I've tied those things together because it was just after Mooncats were rediscovered that Curio was rediscovered. And it was just after the Mooncat community had a big vote on whether or not they release all the Genesis Mooncats or they like keep them, they burn them or whatever. And that was super divisive in the Mooncat community and all this stuff. So when we were rediscovered, Travis was like really diplomatic to the point of like they made a whole new Discord. There was the unofficial wrapper that was made, and like we had they generated something called Curio power, which is like how many cards you hold in your wallet is how much weight your vote has. And the community had a whole vote about the fee structure, and it was a big, it was open discourse. So I am surprised that like I was in a Twitter space this morning with it was Luis Buenaventura, CryptoPop was involved in a conversation, and he did a whole summary of Curio cards and discussed like the royalties and how they've been impactful in his life, and he's been able to start a foundation that like a guild where he's supporting artists from the Philippines. And Travis said tonight in the Discord I saw, he said like, yeah, I'm not getting any royalties, and I was like, really? He puts in a lot of work, like managing the community, even though he says he doesn't like to manage the community, he seems to not mind. So I think you're right. You guys should be in there, and I think you understand that, like, you know, if you were more vocal, you probably could have helped sway the community vote. So that's my perspective from there. But does that mean Curio should or shouldn't continue? That's up to you guys, and that's up to us as a community if we want to, you know, collect the cards or not. And I got some bids on there because I want to get like 3 of each of them. I don't want to get 10 of each of them. Your homie put 10 up there, and I was like, let's get a few of them. But that's the conversation. Actually, so what I actually want to say was I missed the vending machine. I know that was you were talking about the programming aspect of writing a smart contract, which I know is very complex and a sought after skill. But that's one of the coolest things of Curio cards was they had the card contract address, and there was the vending machines, and you just sent ETH to the vending machines, and they outputted cards. And like people started to learn during the rediscovery, the more ETH you sent, the more cards you got out for the same gas fee, which I didn't know that. I only got 7 cards back in March, and I bought them all individually. I bought like the same cards one after another. And if I knew I had to send half of each to the contract, I would have got like 20 cards. I would have done that, but we didn't know. No one was there to explain it to us. So
yeah,
I think
that's hilarious
part
the way
of the lore
the
and, like,
contracts
the
were. It was kind of ahead of its time, really there, and yeah, it's super funny to hear your story about buying them one at a time. Because yeah, I mean, I remember we were begging people to buy them, 20 at a time or 40 at a time, which would have been like $20 or $40, like not a lot of money. But yeah, it's a mess right now with the gas fees. We'll try to get some smaller bundles. That's a good note. I definitely like to see that. Also, I told the guys, let's try to do some like a bundle of each one. Cause that's what I wanted. I'm a collector. I was like, well, I got to get one of each of these, see if they're cool. But yeah, it's
like 3 of each maybe. Throw that up there, you might get a buyer real quick.
Yeah. So,
well, and yeah, hard coins. I'm really glad you came on because you're your Mooncat / Curio, community inspired coins is one of the reasons why I'm part of this Curio Plus project, because I'm like, that was the first actual like community member NFT, and so I'm like, man, there's a bunch of them now. Like there's tons of them, and that inspired also my reaching out to other artists and making them an offer to purchase their the interpretations of my art. And I'm super excited about the Cure Cards Plus because it's a path to bring in more artists. And there's an actual corporation that's going to be formed that can support that. So it'll be able to support artists in the traditional world. I mean, this is the first time I even said this, but when the artist will submit art to Cure Cards Plus, they get like a stipend. We're not going to call it a stipend. It's called something else, but they get money up front before they even do the work. And then they get some after the fact. And then they get residuals whenever they sell. So it's a very beneficial structure for the artists that we'll bring on. And, that's what I felt good about it. And at first I was like, oh man, like, why do we need a company to do this? And then, and then going through we'll still be involved in like the DAOs and the other community projects, I'm sure. Like, there's no exclusive commitments there. So But yeah, I'm excited that there is a path to bringing other artists to it's, and I don't see it as like necessarily extending Curio. It's also a community project in its own right. I don't even think. I mean, how could we even have how could we even extend Curio? There's no way to officially extend it. It's like a completed set, right? So if anything, this is I feel like it's a good path in the right direction. Ultimately, the community will decide what they want to acquire, what narrative they want to, what path they want to go down, what story they want to tell, and ultimately, I think the best place to be is just in supporting artists in the community. Getting sharing the wealth, so to speak.
Well, and it would have been beautiful, and in a perfect world, as soon as we got rediscovered and they started working on the wrapper and that kind of stuff, I started reaching out to Rhett because I would have loved to make these cards as original ERC 20 tokens of the original style, like you're saying, with the vending machine, and then we would have had to make a wrapper, and then they would have had to wrap them, and I would have given everyone the original experience, and had fun with that. But unfortunately, I couldn't get Rhett to program it, and then getting another programmer is expensive and all that. So it would have been really cool. And still in the future, it might be possible to do another drop that way, to do an old timey curio drop, maybe like, card 100 or card 150, if we've built a corporation, to employ a programmer and those kind of things. But I just really think one of the things that Curio Cards is missing, if you compare Curio Cards to Larva Labs or Crypto Kitties or any of the other really successful NFT projects, is that they were able to get some starting venture capital. And the starting venture capital was able to build a larger company, and the larger company was able to, organize their assets and organize, just having a bunch of web pages and having a bunch of text and having all these information all, synchronized and serving the people. So if we had that kind of structure for Curio Cards, I feel like we would be in a stronger position. So when I look at the project and I'm a supporter and I support it passively, or I support it, by showing up and doing things, that stronger position would help everyone who invests in the project, everyone who supports the project. And then finally, for comparing these with the old cards from the beginning, I've felt that the 2017 project was done, that we wrote it into the blockchain, and we made these incredible YouTube videos, which unfortunately are not available. They're on the YouTube channel for the Curio Cards, and they could be made public if the Travis desired, but he doesn't want to. And it's sad. And, but these are the things we made. We made YouTube videos. The artists made images. Finite made the borders. Rhett made the NFTs and the smart contracts and the vending machines. And that's historic work. And I thought there'd never be a confusion. I don't think there's a confusion now. But I do think it's fun to continue the story and to continue the cards, like Max is saying, to support new artists, which was the point. And then also to have this back end, this structure where, the team didn't get included in the wrapper. So the team still needs health insurance and they need salaries. And there's also people that do work that support things like this, people that do the Google ads, that do the Facebook ads, that fill out the forms, that set up the calendar appointments. I mean, there's a structure that would benefit us. And I think that this project is a way to try to get that structure.
Yeah, I mean, I wish you guys the best of luck, and I'm definitely gonna hold the Curio Card Pluses. So I'm sticking around. I'll see how it goes.
Cool.
Hey guys, I gotta hop off, but I'm looking forward to doing these again in the future. I think it's essential to Curio Cards Plus, and just getting our community excited about this project. So awesome guys, I gotta head out, but had a blast.
I think we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna end the stream here. It's getting a little late. We might try another one tomorrow. I've got the Bitcoin group. We might try one of these in the morning, maybe if I get up and do some work. Otherwise, I've got the Bitcoin group, and then we'll definitely do some of these next week, like during the week. Maybe we'll try a weekend one, see if more people are available. But like Hardcoins is saying, if people have questions about what we're doing or about what we did in the past, I'm really glad to answer them if they're presented in a nice way and stuff. Like, let's have a dialogue. And I hope that the community can come around and support this, and I hope that we can talk about it more and that we can get more artists. And the other thing, let's just make some more cards. Let's make some more cards. Let's make 34, 35, 36. Let's get them out there, and then let's have a controversy about those cards. Oh, I think the art on those is ugly, or I think it's too bright, or something like that. So I just think we've got more controversy, more art, more artists. I think it's going to be fun for everybody. And just want to thank Hard Coins for coming up here and speaking. JW, Max, Daniel was up here a little earlier. I want to thank, I think Amy was her name. We had a lot of people hanging out here, and hopefully we can do this again. So just be sure to follow Mad Bitcoins, follow World Crypto Network, and subscribe and all that jazz. And thanks so much. Until next time.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.